Hello, welcome back. Now that you have Microsoft Excel installed and have opened your very first workbook, it's time to become familiar with Microsoft Excel Workspace. In this lesson, we will explore the Microsoft Excel interface, the tools, the menus, and areas you will use every time you work in Excel. Once you understand where everything is, using Excel becomes much more easier and more efficient. Let's get started. What is the Excel interface? When you open Microsoft Excel, as you can see on your screen, you will see a workspace filled with different tools and sections. This is called the Excel interface. Think of the interface as your control center. It contains everything you need to create spreadsheets, enter data, calculate results, format information, and analyze data professionally. Now, the main parts of the Excel interface include the ribbon, tabs, formula bar, name box, workspace area, your status bar, and your quick access toolbar. Now let's break this down one after the other. Now the very first one is called your ribbon. Now your ribbon is the large command area at the top of Excel. Now it contains all the tools and commands you use in Excel, such as formatting text, changing colors, even inserting table, creating charts, writing formulas, managing data, and printing documents. You can think of the ribbon as Excel toolbox. Example: if you want to make a text bold, add borders, or change cell colors, you most likely use a command from the ribbon. Why it matters is the ribbon is where most of your Excel work begins. Then the second one is tabs. Now tabs are the one you have at the very top of your ribbon, so which includes your home, your insert, your draw, your page layout. All these are referred to as tags, and each task are grouped with different related tools. For example, in the home tab we have the paste, the cut, the font, the bold. When I come to insert, we have our table, our pictures, our chart, and so on. So each tab has its own group tool which is being used. Now, the different tabs have been covered, like the home and the insert. So let's quickly go to the formula bar. Now, the formula bar is where most of your work is being done. So the formula bar is mainly located at the top of your Excel workspace. So this is where you have all the formulas you use in Excel being displayed. So the formula bar enables you to see the content of selected cells, enables you to enter data as I explained before, write formulas, or even edit formulas. Up next is your name box, which is also referred to as your cell reference. So your name box is really beside or on the left hand side of your formula bar. It just tells you which of the cell is currently active. As you can see on my screen, I'm having A1, which is saying alphabet A, line 1. So if I select a different cell, this is now my active cell, which is alphabet F, line 6, which is now called F6. So this is where you have your name box, or sometimes called your cell reference. This is where you know which cell is active. Now, the next one we have from the Excel interface is called your worksheet area. Now, this O box you see here, or this O table you have here, is called your Excel work area. Now, your Excel work area is divided into rows and columns. So your rows are numbered, as you can see here, from number 1 to number 50, and we have a lot of them. So if I scroll down, you can see they are going. So we have a lot of numbers. So this is referred to your rows, while your columns are then labeled in alphabet. So a cell is a combination of a colon and a row. So a colon in this case F, and a row in this case 6, which is then referred to as this cell F6. So the workspace area or your Excel space area is each cell you have in your Excel workbook, and each of them have a name box, or which is called a cell reference that is given to them. Now the next thing you have is called your status bar. Your status bar is at the very bottom of your Excel, which gives you information of the file you are working with, where you have your accessibility level, your zoom range, and so on. So this is your status bar. Now the last and very one is called your quick access toolbar. So your quick access toolbar, depending on the version of Microsoft Excel you are using. I failed to explain that in the previous class. Now when it comes to your desktop version of Excel, Excel has various versions. We have the Excel 2026, we have Excel 2014, we have Excel 2024, we have Excel 2019, there's Excel 2016. So depending on the version you have, might make your interface look a little bit different from mine. But for this class, I'm using Excel 2024. So my real board is located at the very top on my left hand side, which gives me access to different tools I can do, like the save, the new, the open, the edit, the undo, and so on. So this is your quick access toolbar, which gives you access to quick action you can take on Microsoft Excel. Now that we understand our Excel interface very well, in the next class we are going to start entering data and starting to do one or two things using Microsoft Excel. Thank you. I'll see you in the next one.